The little cluster of bees forming here on this branch is very important to me. They're from a cutout that I did just the day before in a very isolated community deep in the forest where it was a very small community, but there was no beekeeping allowed, no type of livestock keeping. So I was called there to remove these bees who had been there a good amount of time, but I never did see the queen during the removal. And it's kind of a lot of weird turns to this, but so I just had a big bucket of vacuumed up bees and I dumped them into a colony that already had a queen because I never did see the queen. Well, the next day these bees were leaving, so it told me that there was probably a queen in there. So I thought, this is great. I can know that I got the queen from that colony. So I checked the one that I put them into and they still had their queen. So I was glad that these bees were clustering because that means they have a queen and they weren't just coming out for no reason. They were put into a hive that had brood and had honey stores and everything, but they were still leaving. So here's my account of getting them. Pretty straightforward, shaking them onto a lid. It didn't look like a lot of bees as I'm watching this again. It was more than it looked like. And you'll see that I kind of had some struggles here, and it all makes sense in the end, so you got to stick around to hear the final explanation of what the heck is going on here. The bees are definitely not willing to go right into the box. So I saw the queen there, and I'm trying to get her into a little cage, little queen cage. And I have her, but I have a bunch of other bees in my hand and she slips away. And I have to re-catch her again here. No big deal. This time I got her. And we get her into the cage. Once I'm sure she's in there, I'm not going to pinch her head. I just grab some workers here, put them into the queen cage with her as her little attendants there. I have a bunch of stings on my hand there, you can see, but those are from yellow jackets from removals I did days before, and yellow jackets really make my hands look terrible when they sting me. But I'm getting some attendant workers in there for her, and in my mind I'm thinking I really got this one in the bag. It's going to be easy from here out. So now I'm happy I got enough workers in there. In a pinch, I like to use just some grass to block the queen cage hole. It works really well for me. The temperature inside the hive causes the grass to just dry up, and then the bees can just remove the grass little by little and let the queen out. So it's not a very quick release, but it's slow enough. So now I have the queen cage blocked with some grass. I'm just going to pinch it between some frames. Try to get it snugly in there without dropping it. That's always annoying, dropping it to the bottom, but I got it nice and pinched. Now we're just going to boot these workers in here. Now it doesn't look like a lot of bees there, but you'll see. So they should all go in there, right? Because the queen's in the cage. But they are flying kind of erratically, not really behaving normally. So I just get the lid on, and I notice there's a lot more bees above my head in the tree, another big cluster. So let's go ahead and get that cluster. This time I have a nice little bin to shake them into so they don't go all over the place. Nice heavy amount of bees. I figure, oh, they should just go straight into this box, no problem. That queen's in there, she's caged. There's no chance there will be two queens. I'm watching them. They're not really running in there. I'm not even looking for another queen or anything like that. I'm just not thinking it could be possible. So I just shake them in. They're gonna go in there. But they keep going up to this branch, doggone it. Shake some more on there. So now I have a good idea. Let's get this box elevated closer to the cluster site. And just let them walk up. And it seems to work. They're staying there. They're not going back up into the tree so much. And after some time, they do eventually all go into the box, and everything is happily ever after. But there's an update coming. So now the update is that a couple days later I went in just to make sure they released the queen from her little grass blocked cage, and they did not, and she was dead inside. So I freaked out for a second and then looked further, and there was another queen in there. So somehow this removal did have 2 queens in it, and she is laying, so this nuke is going to need a lot of feeding to get prepared for winter, but at least I have some nice feral genetics to add to my yard. Thanks for watching.